That is a lovely shot from TK.
He's a very talented young kid. Obviously, he was hitting the ball like an adult and a veteran, and he was putting lights out.
This is for the lead for TK. Oh, and he's walking it in. He's got the swagger going on.
Hey, he's just enjoying it. He's absolutely loving it, and there's so much passion there. You can tell how much he wanted it.
Got to get it onto that back left-hand tier. 23 paces on. Oh, he's done just that. How good was that from TK?
You know, to show that much of responsibility and that much of maturity on the golf course, especially on the weekend, that really shows that, you know, you are ready for the big boys league.
History maker TK Ratchanon Chantananuwat, the schoolboy, and now Asian Tour champion, the youngest ever.
I'm here with TK Ratchanon Chantananuwat, the youngest ever winner on the Asian Tour and also the youngest ever winner of an official World Golf Ranking event. TK, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
TK, I mean, your rise has been phenomenal, the last 8 months especially. Is this something you expected?
I mean, I've always hoped for this, and I've definitely daydreamed a lot about getting the world record, being the youngest person ever to win. But I mean, we did expect it, and because it was always my goal, I had to put in the work for it. So I was hoping it would come eventually.
Lovely technique there, long, lazy swing. That is going to be to join Newton at the top of the leaderboard. Anything on the left half of this green is going to bank around to the right. Oh, just flight straight at the hole. You're running out of superlatives to describe this 15-year-old. Oh, well done. Ratchanon Chantananuwat. That's something. This is very interesting, and, well, it's a 15-year-old play here.
Yeah, why is he not putting, Tim?
Well,
that's the reason. There's the reason.
We'll get Dom to ask him after the round. That was a brave shot.
The guys in the box noticed that on the last hole, you're only, what, a foot off the back of the green? Many expected to use the putter, but you used the wedge. Can you go through why you did that?
First of all, say I'm country club staff. I'm sorry, I didn't ruin your green, I promise. But it's a long putt, man. It was like, what, 40 yards at least. I could easily 3-putt or even hit it off the green or leave it 15 feet short. And it was an up and down, and I'd have probably 4 breaks. I was like, you know what? There's a ton of space. The downhill part is like 12 yards. I can land it just there, and it would have to be a soft roll. I didn't have to do anything fancy. I didn't need to force anything out of my 60. It was a really comfortable shot.
You opened with a 63.
Yeah, that was great.
Incredible round. At which point in the week did you think, man, I've got a chance of winning this? Was it after that 63, or was it maybe later on in the week?
It was definitely after that 63. I'm like, okay, I still got this. I should definitely go for the win.
When you sank that birdie putt on the 72nd hole, what was the feeling? Relief? Happiness?
I mean, to be honest, like to this day, it still feels like unreal. Like there was so much nerves, adrenaline, excitement going through that putt. I actually don't really remember myself even controlling my putt or anything at all. But yeah, it was definitely relief, because I had so much pressure, more than my entire life combined, going into that last 3-hole stretch. And the way Waterside is designed as well is that there's very little water throughout the entire course, but 17, 18 holes with like this massive pond to the side. So it is very nerve-wracking.
Now, you're only 15, so how did you celebrate that evening?
Just Wagyu dinner, that's it, yeah. Can't do more than that.
This is not an easy chip, because he's landing in a part of the green where the grass is into him, the grain is into him, so a little bit harder to predict the bounce. Look at this, this is unbelievable.
Wonderful, wonderful touch.
I didn't see all your shots, but the most impressive shot I thought was your chip or little pitch from behind the 17th. I mean, that wasn't easy, but the way you played it, I mean, you took a full swing pretty much and slid the wedge under the shot. I mean, that takes enormous confidence. I mean, what were you thinking over that shot?
Okay, first of all, I gotta say thanks to TJ. He's been helping me working on my chipping quite a lot for the past 2.5, 3 years, and definitely that spinny chip, he's definitely taught me pretty much everything about it. And I saw that chip, and I was like, wow. I instantly thought of the perfect chip, and I knew the other options were out of the door, and I had to take that risk because it was uphill and then downhill, and then I had a good lie, right? So I saw that, I was like, I need to spin this, but because of like probably over the 100,000 balls that I practiced, I knew that I had to go to do this, so I went ahead, executed it, and it turned out pretty good.
And of course, TJ is Tongchai Jaidi, who's a
Tongchai
big
Jaidi.
influence on your game and on you.
Yeah.
Was that drive on 18 nerve-wracking?
That was probably the scariest drive of my life, but I actually ripped it straight down the middle, so it was one of the best feelings ever. Because from there, I knew I just had to hit 2 straight shots and 2 putt.
I would definitely say that the Asian golf is in great hands. I feel the next generation of Asian golfers are ready to take on to the world-class golf.
The golf game was fantastic, and so I was very surprised with that, how young he was and how good he was, and so I think he's got a very bright future.
TK Ratchanon, his approach into the 11th. Oh, it's all over it. What an approach from TK Ratchanon at the 11th.
This to get to 5 under. Chantananuwat. You sure he's 14 years old?
Now, your game is so mature. What is the strongest part of your game?
I'd say I hit it pretty accurate, and I don't 3-putt as much, and my putting speed is always really close. So on a good day when things click, I could shoot 63, 65.
It's a lovely birdie for the teenage sensation.
Conversely, what's the weakest part of the game? What part of the game do you think you really need to work on and focus on?
I'd say sometimes it's more mental rather than physical, and when I'm under pressure or I'm on a bad day, like I don't throw the game, but I just play differently, like in a way I can't control as well yet. Like I put extra pressure on myself, and like with short putts I just ended up pulling it because I'm like, oh, I need to make this birdie putt after I've missed a couple, so I still need to work on managing my emotions and not putting pressure on myself.
Yeah, it was funny. He's just 14 years old. He got like 4 more years in school, which is crazy. And yeah, he's pretty good. We were laughing at the scorecard because some friend asked him, how do you play? Oh, I played terrible. I just shot 1 under. I was like, when I was 14, my terrible was probably breaking 80. So yeah, he's a great kid.
Do you track your own stats? And if so, is there a formula you adopt after seeing the stats, your numbers?
I definitely do take my stats. I don't do anything much fancy about it. I just go, oh, okay, 33 putts today, that was terrible. Just need to work on my putting after the round. Or okay, this week my driver was solid. I don't need to worry much about that. Or I've hit like 13 greens each round, and that was very low. I need to work on my irons. That's all the stats that I do.
So you don't actually pace the distance you've hit the shot to on the greens, and then you track them in the evening and write them down?
Oh yeah, I do that as well. Me and my dad write, especially my dad, he writes the yardage down for every hole every day, and we just go back and look at that and see if anything's like, if there's any anomalies. And it also helps with the drives as well. If let's say I hit it 290 on a certain day, and I hit it 280 the next day, I could think, oh, there might be wind up there in like where my ball reaches the apex, but we don't feel it, so it helps.
Right. Now, talking of your dad, obviously a big influence, he's your caddy
too.
Now, we've all noticed you discuss a lot with him pre-shot.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly you trust your dad's judgment.
Yeah.
You're obviously a better golfer than your dad. But what do you really discuss when you're over shots?
So I think it's quite different with hitting and putting. my putting, he gives me the necessary information. Like he just says the precautions, like it's downhill, don't hit this too hard. It's 9 yards and a half, something like that. And then I decide on the read myself, because my dad keeps saying like, you gotta do this yourself. I would never know what speed you're gonna putt at. So I can give you the information, but you need to decide yourself. But on the irons is where I think he helps me a bit more. We do our own distances and then we put them together. It's pretty much the same all the time. And we just discuss, okay, which would be the better option? Should we go extra club and hit it softer or something like that?
Contact looked okay. It should start feeding. Here it comes.
Well, the execution was superb, and you just wonder whether that is the moment.
TK, what were your parents' reaction after your win? What did they say to you?
Well, my mom probably screamed. I didn't hear that, but she definitely screamed. My dad probably did like a very like he's big with his celebrations. But I think they were really proud of me. They just said, yeah, it's been. They didn't say much to me honestly, because I think they were as numb as I was. But I knew they were really happy, and what they've sacrificed for me for the past 11 years, I think they know it paid off.
They're obviously an incredible influence on you.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it do you think that they have done that has got you where you are now? The biggest thing they've done?
Definitely their time over the past 11 years. They've given up a lot of the work, and they spent all their time with me.
What a moment that is for the Chantananuwat family. How much does Dad get paid? That's what I want to know.
Don't worry, Dad's been paying.
Summarize a day in your life. Is it all golf, or is it golf and school and other things?
Well, on let's say a typical school day, right? I'd probably run in the morning, and then I go to school. School is where I relax, because one, I enjoy learning, and I get to see my friends as well. So it's where I kind of let loose. I'm definitely a different person from the golf course. I'm like probably 8 years old. I act like an 8 years old in school, and yeah, I just come to practice. And because of my IGCSE test, I also do a little bit of tutoring as well. So it's either tutoring or fitness in the evening after golf.
Does golf influence the way you perform in school, or is it the other way around?
I think playing professional golf has helped me be a little bit more mature, because I'm always around adults. When I need to be serious in school, I think it helps me concentrate, teaches me how to manage my time better with school as well.
What's your favorite subject in school?
Physics.
Really?
Physics is my all-time favorite, and I'd say PE, because I just enjoy sports, and economics as well. And
your least favorite subject?
Depends which one I miss the most. Right now it's biology, because every time I miss, it's a ton of content that I'm missing out on. Yeah.
What's tougher, trying to win a golf tournament or navigating your least favorite subject, biology?
It's pretty, well, I mean, trying to win a golf tournament is fun, but sitting down revising biology, it's not as fun. Yeah.
I mean, you go to school, your friends see what you're doing on the golf course. I mean, what do they think about you? What's their reaction to this?
I've known these friends for like 10 years or 7, 8 years. And I think they see me as, like I said earlier, the stupid 8-year-old who runs around school like a crazy kid. But I think they definitely have like, now that we're all grown up and they're actually knowing what I've been doing on the golf course, I think they respect me a little bit more, especially in golf, and they know what I'm doing now.
Bunker's not a bad spot. That front right bunker's not a bad spot at all. That is up the left edge towards that left trap. Oh, what a shot.
Oh, this is absolutely terrific from TK Ratchanon.
Oh, he's got all the shots, doesn't he, Dom? That was simply spectacular from the teenager. Brilliant position to be putting from for an eagle up the hill. Chantananuwat finds a 3 on the 7th.
I'm just going to say he's way ahead of me when I was 14, so he's got a great future.
You took my next question out of my mouth. Where was your golf game at the age of 14?
Nowhere near his, I know that. You know, I'm honestly, I don't want to say amazed. That's the wrong word. I'm just excited about his future. I think that the big thing that excites me about him is his maturity at this level. We know he's got great physical skills. We can see the ball striking and the putting and the chipping. It's all there, but he's a very mature 14-year-old. He even knows his maths. He's given me the square root of 132 a minute ago. So he's a smart kid as well, and it's the fact that he's open, he's asking questions, he's observing. I wish him the best of luck, but he's not going to need any.
You expect so much of yourself, and so much is now being expected of you. How do you cope with the pressure?
I gotta say, I've been pretty fortunate. I have a lot of good people around me, always supporting me with this kind of stuff. But to be honest, I don't feel much pressure. It's like no one's really telling me, oh, you have to win this. Like, for example, SEA Games. I know there's probably a bit of expectations, but no one's really coming at me, oh, you gotta get that gold, man. So for me, it's pretty nice right now. There's not really that much pressure.
You play a lot of golf. Is there a time when you're like, whoa, I'm really tired, I don't want to play golf?
Well, I've been physically tired a lot of times, like every week, but be tired of the sport, no, because especially in the past like couple years when I've gotten older, I understand stuff. I know that the work that I have to put in, no matter how tiring it is physically and mentally, is necessary to get me pretty much where I am today now and what I want to achieve in the future.
I think with the supportive family that he has, you know, the sky's the limit for him. I think it's just he's got to be very, very careful of who he lets in his circle, because there's going to be a lot of people wanting to give their advice, and that's the only thing I worry about for guys like that is, you know, everybody wants a piece. And, you know, if he continues to just do what he's doing and not search, he's going to go as far as he wants.
You've now played 7 events on the Asian Tour. Have you enjoyed the experience?
Definitely, since the very first one.
And who are your friends on the Asian Tour?
I'd say everyone. Every single one of the pros, Thai or whatever, they're all really nice to me and they're always trying to help me out.
If you were a professional, you would have won over $300,000 by now.
Yeah.
You say you're going to go to college.
Yeah.
Any changes in that thought process?
Nah, either way, if I turn pro or even if I don't, either way, I'm still going to stay in school and go to college.
TK, -1 through 2 rounds. Are you happy with your score?
No, not really, because I know I'm capable of playing much better than this, but given the circumstances of how I played and how I managed to scramble a 1 under and I think most likely make the cut, I'm pretty happy with how I finished in the last couple of holes.
And this is your first Asian Tour event. How's the experience been?
I loved it since since Monday, since the practice rounds. I've enjoyed playing and practicing against better players. I've learned a lot from them.
Now it appears to us your playing style is very aggressive. You seem to attack pins all the time. Is that perhaps because as an amateur there's not as much riding on it because you're not playing for the money? Do you think when you turn pro your playing style may change?
I think playing professional tournaments as an amateur will probably help me when I actually turn pro to not focus on the money, because no matter how good I play, I'm not getting the money anyways. So I think when I turn pro, I'll probably still have the same mindset that I'm not thinking about the money. So I don't think I'm gonna change, because if I know that I can hit a straight golf shot, I just cannot just aim 15 feet right at the pin, because there's one part of me that will always, there's something satisfying about hitting a straight shot right at the pin, no matter if it's an island green or whatever. Yeah.
He's got to play it out left a little bit, maybe 10, 15 feet left. Here he goes, it's going to come out low. Look at this, look at this, it's in, is it?
Oh, it was not in, but it was absolutely superb. He got that check, which you said on the second bounce. He landed it to within perfection.
Simply stunning from Chantananuwat.
So what are your plans for the future? What will weigh upon your decision making?
About turning pro?
Turning pro or going to college, which colleges you'd like to attend?
Yeah, I think that college part is pretty solid right now. I don't think that's going to change, and then turning pro just after, I think that's all I have, and I don't think that's really going to change.
And when you do turn pro, what are your dreams? What are your goals?
World number one would definitely be one of them. And I'd say get the most majors win possible. However that may be, maybe it could be Tiger who has that record, or John Rahm, or DJ, or whatever, but I'm gonna try to beat that.
Well, you know Jack Nicklaus has that right now at 18.
Yeah.
So your goal is 19.
Yeah, and like I've always said, if you're not trying to win, then what's the point of playing?
Sounds very much like Tiger Woods. I
stole it from him. But I think majors, it's definitely a more realistic goal than getting, well, probably 80. Tiger would probably have 83 at that time or something. But I don't think anyone will ever break that record from this point onwards, because he was just so, no one could catch up to him. But with the current golf skill now, it's impossible to dominate for that long. So I think majors would definitely be a more realistic goal.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years' time?
10 years, I'd be 25. So I think hopefully winning majors. Yeah, and playing on whichever tour that has the best players there and having fun.
Well, we'd love to see you do that.
Yeah.
Achieve your dreams and goals.
Yep.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Here's Chantananuwat. Oh, well done. Third youngest player to ever make the halfway cut on the Asian Tour at 14 years of age.
It's nice to be young and fresh, and you know, it's just, there's so much optimism there, and he's got such a good outlook on it. I think that's what you take, is just fall in love with it, and you know, remember the reasons why you're doing this in the first place, I think is the biggest message.
Oh, he's got the rock rolling nicely today.
I mean, I would just like to wish him good luck, and hopefully, you know, his graph keeps on going on the same pace what's it going right now, and rest is, you know, sky's the limit.
What an unbelievable putt! What an unbelievable tournament for this young man.
On the bag for TK Ratchanon. That's a 65 on Sunday. So much to smile about. Get used to that name and that face. TK Ratchanon.